So obviously, welcome to the Contractor Connections, the show that's going to be building a legacy. My name is Christy, and here we have today our owner of Master Hands Painting, Brittany. So how are you feeling today?
Good. I'm excited
Yeah.
to finally be doing a podcast. We've been kind of planning this for a long time.
Yeah. So it's
Overdue.
definitely overdue. I was going to say overdue, and that's something new that we're doing now. We're kind of trying out, and it's always better to just do it rather than to plan it for so long and we just never do it. So yeah, that's actually kind of what we're going to be going over today. How to build connections within the contractor community, and it's exactly as the title says, the contractor connections. So, if you can tell me a little bit about Master Hands and what is it, how did it come up?
Yeah, so we have our business, Master Hands Painting. We do commercial and residential painting. We've been in business since '95. We're family owned and operated, so we're second generation business. Um, Female owned, so I'm the owner. My dad originally started this company in '95 and had passed away from COVID. So we've been in a bit of a transition over the last 2 years as we've changed over with ownership and whatnot. We've had a lot of the same painters over the years, and we just have a really great reputation, a lot of clientele within the valley that we've built up. So we're really known for being clean on the job sites, on time, and just better communication. So we're kind of here to separate ourselves with our customer service and the quality of work that we provide.
Nice.
Yeah, so we've just been on this growing trajectory, scaling, and just trying to make the next generational touch on our business.
Yeah, I'm glad you said the next generational touch because since this company has been in business for some time now, I mean, since '95, that's over 20 years. And it's now become a third generation company, now female owned. Is there some insights that you've taken from your dad that he kind of passed down onto you that you still use to this day?
Yeah, I think one big thing is just our customer service and the pride that we put into all the job sites that we touch. We take everything like really personal because this business is our reputation, it's our legacy that we're carrying on. So we're really big on customer service, building relationships with our client, being a giver, and just going above and beyond for people, and just creating this like family work environment. So we really like to make sure that whether it's the painters we have or the clients we have, that we're just treating them with the utmost professionalism and just providing above and beyond the expectation. And that just has really blessed us where we get continuous repeat clients, a lot of referrals. So that's kind of been a big thing that was instilled in me is like, make sure you're treating people right.
Yeah, for sure.
And make sure you're having integrity on the job site to make sure that, you know, you're proud of the work that you're leaving behind, and that alone will continue to bring on more work.
Yeah, and that goes throughout the whole job, not only from creating relationships with your clients, but also creating connections with other resources like contractors, business owners, anyone that can help you kind of scale because we are going through those growing pains right now. If you can just talk to me a little bit about the certain challenges that you're going through right now as a business owner.
So I would say some of our challenges is just different growing pains, like you mentioned. So right now we're scaling. We've reached different capacity points in our business. So that's kind of the best way I can describe our challenges is just hitting capacity points in a lot of different areas, whether that be pretty booked out on our schedule. So we're always continuously hiring painters, drywallers, stucco people. And with that, just trying to keep up with the clientele that we already have, and then still just maintaining that quality of work and professionalism as we're hiring and scaling to make sure that we're not just kind of losing our control.
Yeah, dropping the ball in areas.
Yeah, so that's been a pain point for us, but definitely doable and able to work around. We're just kind of trying to do it with caution so that way we don't ruin any reputation, hinder any relationships and stuff like that.
Yeah, you want to make sure that just a little background insight. I'm also part of her team, but I can back up those growing pains. Like we're scaling so much, but the stress is good. It's a good stress. We're like stressed that we need to hire more, stressed that we need to grow our team more and make sure that the quality still stands with our jobs.
Yeah, she's been like a really big improvement and a big step that we've taken. Just having an assistant and somebody available for customer communication all the time has really given us an advantage. I feel like in the construction and contracting industry, that's something that a lot of us drop the ball on as far as professionalism and good communication. And I think that's a really easy way for us to set ourselves apart. So just having like an office admin to be able to keep up with all those things while still monitoring job sites and keeping the crews going. It's really been like a pivotal point for us. So I know with this, we're already getting past different capacity points that we had 30 days ago and just creating new problems to overcome.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like you said, so much has changed within just 30 days. Like, I hope that's one takeaway that business owners can take into consideration. Maybe that's something that you need in your team to grow your business. Some people think that just having like an assistant is not really going to be beneficial, but think of what are different ways that we haven't tried that would benefit us and the company as a whole. Is there any other takeaways that you would like to give other business owners for them to scale and be more successful in their business?
Definitely, yeah. So one of the biggest things that's helped me over like the last year has been business coaching. So that's a big reason why I'm even doing this right now. I've been encouraged to like podcast, do more content, get in other people's audiences and stuff like that. So I would definitely say that business coaching has been a big turning point for me. It changed a lot of my mindset and all of these plans that I've had. It's just kind of given me a structure. I've seen people already making these like steps and moves that I already want to make. So it's cool to see and be in a room where people are doing bigger and better things than you. Because
it gives you this motivation, right? Yeah, right. It gives you a motivation of like, if they can do it, then I can do it.
Right.
And they make your dreams and aspirations seem so attainable, because ultimately it is. Like, you just have to create a plan to get there. And that's the whole part of, I like this podcast idea, because we are building a legacy. We're going to continue that generational business. So later on, our generations could follow through,
right.
You know?
Yeah, we'll have a lot of different contractors that we'll plan to be able to like interview on here. And just like I have all these things that I've learned over the last few years, there's so many people that are just full of knowledge from different standpoints that they have, whether it's like HVAC or landscaping or whatever the case may be. We all have similar pain points. It's just depending on the circumstance, they can be like the same problem. So we could all help each other grow past those, and just like you all need that different connection.
Yeah, and ultimately everyone needs a little bit of help. So we're going to have this pool of resources that we're going to bring people here and, you know, be able to help one another. If you had, I know this was kind of like passed down from generation, so from your dad, and then that was passed on from his dad. Is there something that you would do different if you had the chance to create your own company?
So for me, I just want to be able to have systems and have things that are able to replicate easier, so that way the next person that's getting it feels more prepared.
Yeah, more structure.
Just more structure, yeah. So that way it's easier for, like, let's say an 8-year-old or a caveman to just jump in and do
a little bit easier.
You want to have it like dumbed down so that you can
make it as simple as possible.
Right. You want to have a process that someone can jump in and fill in for you. So I think that's one thing that I'm working on right now. And if I were to have like another business, I want to start out with a solid foundation, a better structure, different systems. That way we're really organized and just on top of it from start to finish, and then easier to mimic. So that way we can scale like in a confident way.
Yeah, for sure. I know, like, right now, one of the challenges that we feel is kind of like we need to scale. We're growing, we're hiring, but we're booked out. So it's kind of like this hamster wheel of stress of like, we need this to get to point B, but we need this tool to get to point C. So it's kind of a stress circle. What are some certain characteristics that you're expecting to see in people that you're hiring?
People that have like integrity, so they're gonna do the right thing, whether you're right there hovering over them or not.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who's like self-sufficient is really important. That way they can
Yeah.
kind of guide themselves through a job without needing someone to tell them every step of the way what to do, where to get it, so on and so forth.
Yeah, especially in this business, like you're going to be on your own a lot of the time. So you have to have some problem solving skills. You can be a strong leader mindset. We say this often, what do we do when we bump into a wall? Figuratively, we pivot. So
right, prepare to pivot.
Yeah.
It's been a big saying for me for like this year. And it's just
More
like,
the
you
last month.
cannot expect everything to go as planned. So
Because
just,
it doesn't.
Exactly, especially in construction.
Yeah, construction, projects.
Business in general. So just to have a backup plan is so important with anything you're doing, and just being prepared to like, hey, it might not go as planned. It's not the end of the world, but this is how I'm going to pivot. I have this like these resources in the back of my pocket. If something pops up, this is what I'm going to do. So just to have that, not only for your team, but for your customers, it really gives them confidence. Like, hey, you know, we're all human. Things aren't perfect. Something might change, but I know this person has my best interest in mind. We're going to make it work. We're going to stay on track.
Yeah, because ultimately those same people that you use or those people that you're hiring, either they're going to bring more people along with them, or that's going to be your circle of resources, your circle of connections, hence contractor connections. So that's what we're trying to bring to other contractors, other business owners. That way we can all work together for ultimately the same goal.
Yeah, we're really big on like creating a good team culture. So a lot of our guys that we currently have painting for us have actually been referred by other painters already painting for us.
Yeah.
So that gives me a nice like warm feeling in my heart, because I'm like, oh, well, you know, they feel they're taken care of, that they would recommend somebody else to also come join our team and also be taken care of by us. So we're big on, you know, prioritizing our team, making sure they always have work, making sure they have opportunities to continuously improve.
Upward mobility.
Coaching for our team even. So we have our painters doing a bunch of nerdy stuff, learning all these different things about sales, and, you know, just putting people up to different challenges and kind of testing their limits as far as their growth, and taking away those ceilings for people so they can see, you know, we're not just an average painter, and here you kind of have a lot more opportunities to grow if you wanted to grow into sales, or if you wanted to grow into a project manager. Just a lot of opportunities where you want your goals so big that other people's goals can fit inside of them.
And not only that, like this is a great opportunity. Even though we've been in business for over 20 years, you're still in that foundation where you are able to figure out like, okay, what do I want to do in this company? What do I want my role to be? And you're able to be in the kind of beginning stages of that company to establish and help and grow, you know? What does building a legacy in this business mean for you? Where do you see this company in like 5 years or 10 years, or what are your ultimate goals?
So I would say like a legacy is just what you leave behind, like for your family, or how people remember you. And I want to obviously leave behind something successful, something with a little more structure. And a goal of mine is to be able to scale to where we have maybe 5 crews of painters. Right now we basically have 2. So with having more painters, I'd be able to take on a greater capacity of work, have
more
a little
projects,
less wait time for our clients. We definitely don't have a lead problem, so we're always continuously busy. We have a lot of repeat customers.
That's very true.
It's a great problem to have, but I'm also a people pleaser, so I want to be able to get customers in and out. So my big goal is just to hire, scale, but to still maintain that quality and professionalism that we have. So I think that's what's kind of slowed us down as far as the hiring, because we just have a higher standard that we're trying to maintain.
Yeah, it's very complicated trying to withhold or upheld standards when you're trying to get a level of customer satisfaction and making sure that the customer is taken care of, your team is taken care of. And as a business owner, a lot of those times you're kind of left at the back end of the, you know, where you just get the scraps. But that could also be very rewarding, because you know that it's for the benefit of the company, benefit for the clients, and benefit for the future for everyone. What are some things that we can expect from you coming from this company?
So one of my big plans that I have, which I haven't really talked much about publicly, but I'm in the process of getting my general contractor's license. So I'm really excited for that. I know it'll open up a lot more opportunity for us in the construction industry. We're currently licensed for wall coverings and painting for commercial and residential, but I'm going to be getting my general contractor's license for residential, like new builds and remodeling. So I'm really excited for that. We have
and it'll open a lot of doors for us.
We're kind of already in that trajectory where we just have so many power partners that every time I step on a job and I'm like, hey, this person needs like a roof repair, and I like Stay 48 Roofing, Eco Roofing, call them.
Yeah.
So I already have all these connections, and it's just kind of like I want to be kind of having myself more involved with the whole process because I'm already doing so much work.
Yeah.
So I just see a lot of potential in kind of growing that way, but still maintaining our painting business, being able to work them together. So I think that's kind of an exciting thing that I have coming in the near future. And then just with this podcast, trying to create a lot of connections.
A lot more different, yes, a lot more episodes or segments are going to be coming later on because it's a whole new world for us. That's what I was saying. It's a new level of uncomfortability, a new challenge that we're going to have to get over. But that's only going to be a hurdle to make it better for the future. Like you said, it's already the trajectory that we're going towards. We're just going to get bigger, better. And that's the whole point of the connection. You know, we're going to have this Rolodex of connections for everyone. That way we can all grow and help one another.
Right. Yeah, I've learned a lot that like getting in front of other people's audiences is really a pivotal point.
Yes,
so
for sure.
If you're just like on somebody's podcast and you're able to kind of share that information with other people, you can reach so many other clients where you already know somebody who's working with a painter might want to use like somebody to build something or somebody to fix their pool because they're remodeling. So just all these connections, we can really create this community of just people helping each other.
And you're learning new things every day. Like I know I've only been with you for 30 days, maybe even. But even last week, we were learning like new lingo, new slang, new terms to jobs that we've been doing for a long time. So I know there's still a lot more to learn from not only each other, but also from our team, improving all aspects of a business.
Yeah, I would say another like big difference for us too is like we have a really different background compared to a lot of the people in the construction industry.
Yeah.
So a lot of people in construction, they typically start out like as the worker, where I just kind of got thrown into this. But my background is like business management.
That's our background.
Business management, tax collections, public service, and just all these different things. I used to work at a gravel yard dispatching and like moving equipment and whatnot. So there's kind of all these different.
It's great to have versatility where we're able to put it all together for the greater good per se or the biggest project, because I can say the same. I came through the same background where it's like customer service, sales, admin, jack of all trades type of thing. And I don't know if our background helped in our role because we've known each other for 10 plus years, but I know how she works. She knows how I work, and we help each other get the job done, basically. Stay focused.
Refocused, and then just like focus on, okay, these are the tasks for the day. This is how we're going to knock it out. Prioritizing things. So it's just a really nice way that I think, instead of a disadvantage that some people might see with like a lack of hands-on experience, we're able to step away. We don't have to work hard on putting down the brush, as most painters would say. I never touch a brush. I don't have to paint. I have an amazing crew of painters that allow me this opportunity to really focus on my business instead of working in it. So that's just a really big thing that I'd love to be able to instill within people
Provide for
watching.
people, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like to learn how to step away and to see the benefit of it. And even though it might be like a growing pain, or you don't know exactly how well somebody's going to do something, there's so much more opportunity if you let go of a certain like hamster wheel that you're stuck in and just get into the next where you're solving other bigger, better problems.
Yeah. Would you say, or would you recommend other business owners to take that risk? And because, I know like we use subcontractors sometimes for other resources that we might need. I know it could be scary for some business owners because that's your baby to a lot of them. So sometimes you have to take that risk to understand like this is the risks of either it can go well or you live and you learn, on to the next.
Right. I think one thing that has helped me is just understanding like nobody's perfect, but how you fix a problem and all of that makes a big difference. So as long as you're willing to be like, hey, I'm going to be accountable. This shouldn't have happened, but here's what we're going to do to fix it and prevent it for ongoing.
Yeah.
So I definitely have had negative experience when it comes to using subcontractors or different things like that. And people are not always going to do exactly what you want, represent you exactly how you want. We have to be accountable as a leader and see like, how could I have set them
for
up
next time
for a more successful thing where those problems wouldn't occur. Maybe better communication as a leader, different things that you can kind of own instead of just kind of say, oh, these people are
and also
terrible.
understanding that not everyone is on the same level of communication that you are or that we might be used to, because again, we come from a corporate background, a customer service background, public service background, so it's, of course, we're gonna talk properly and know exactly what to say.
Right.
But not everyone is on that level. So it is a risk that you have to be willing to take if you want to be a successful business owner. A lot of people say, the closer you are to, or the sooner you fail, the sooner you are to learning a lesson or rectifying that issue. Do you feel like that's something that we've encountered the last month?
One thing that I've been feeling and kind of letting myself get past these pain points of like fails on a hire is, you have to hire based on culture and just really make sure that those people fit your core values, that they have the same values you do, because then it kind of helps you feel that they're going to represent you in a way that you would feel confident. But also just have the same confidence to fire people as soon as possible if needed, because
if they're not the right fit.
You don't need to hold on to somebody and act like someone's a project for you to fix up. You want to hire somebody ready and willing to work for you, somebody who matches your energy, matches the goals and the core values.
Yeah, not everyone is going to be a good fit.
Right.
And that's where people take it too hard. I think where maybe as a business owner, you feel like you owe them more than you promised, or more than you're able to give them at that time.
Right.
But yeah, it's another job that can become a career if you put the effort into it, if you put the open mindset to learn new skills, to learn new trades, to learn in general. It's going to be, we're looking for those type of people that are able to, I dropped the ball, but let me learn. How do I fix this? How do I pivot? Prepare to pivot.
One thing that I've learned a lot just within the last few years of being a business owner is just like how you want to fix something and how you're able to kind of make that correction. It just really sets yourself apart. Having that professionalism and stuff like that, doing those things that are considered easy, like communication.
Going above and beyond.
Right.
You'd be surprised.
If you could master communication and just the customer service point, you're already setting yourself apart, like having good follow-up plans and like sending the information right away when someone wants a quote. Things like that are going to really set you apart, where people aren't doing those easy things the right way. They're so focused
they
on
think it's
the
just something
stuff.
small.
Right. And those little things kind of compound with each other and make the biggest difference, where your customer is just like, oh my gosh, this person is really interested in helping me.
Yeah. And not only that with clients, but also with your team. Like if they feel like their experience is positive, like they really take care of me, we have a work-life balance.
Mhm.
Also with clients is they were quick with communication.
Mhm.
They were considerate. They were clean. That's all, like you said, it's going to compound to the bigger picture.
Right.
And that's what's going to make a difference with the service that you receive or communication and everything.
Yeah, being clean is one of our like biggest compliments that we get, honestly, as far as like on the job site, and that really sets us apart. We don't leave any trash behind while we're working. If it's something that takes a few days, we want to make sure in between, if you need access to a certain area, you know, you can take down paper if it's in your way, and we'll fix it in the morning when we come back. Like your house is still your home while we're working there. And if it's ever not, we'll kind of give you that heads up, like, hey, prepare for this day. This is what it's going to look like while we're on the job. So that way you don't go into anything just unprepared,
unexpected,
nervous,
total chaos.
Right? Because we know like that's your house, that's your safe place, that's your comfort. Some people work from home too, so we don't want your project to really hinder your plans for the week. But definitely something that we have good communication on, as far as making sure the customer is comfortable, they know what to expect, and they know that we're going to guide them through the whole process.
Yeah, they definitely want to make them feel like they're included in part of the whole process, not only decision making, color consultation, but like we're going to let you know what's going down.
Right.
Now I know you mentioned like we're going to be super clean throughout the project, but you also have other businesses and other companies that you own, one of them being like a cleaning business. Do you feel like that's hard for you to juggle, or do you feel like later on you'll be able to expand into that aspect a little bit more?
So I feel like a lot of these businesses that I have, they really connect with each other. So I have a cleaning company, and we can basically follow up when we're done with our painting projects and do like a deep clean, whether that's before or after, for let's say like a new build with a new construction. Some of those new construction cleanups are not that great. You open up your cabinets and stuff, it's all full of sawdust and like drywall dust and all of that.
And we've seen that happen just within this last week.
Right. And construction in general, it's a mess. So being with the cleaning company, like that definitely gives us an automatic connection to all the customers we already have within our painting company.
Yeah.
And then aside from that, I have a rental business. So we do short terms on Airbnbs and a long-term rental property as well. So just kind of working on building that portfolio, but then also having like an understanding when someone has a rental property and they need it painted in between tenants. Like I understand that pressure. I understand what it's like trying to, you know, keep your business profitable.
Understanding is such a huge thing.
Right, but still having like a clean rental and all of these things. So I understand just the intention behind people, whether they're like a real estate investor or like a homeowner who just bought their first house and all that stress that brings. I've had those experiences to where I can kind of give people comfort, because I'm like, hey, I've been there.
I've been there. I get it.
Yeah, let me help you. Let me do this. Or if this was my rental property or my mom's property, this is what I would do for you or for her.
Yeah. So I know that this like company, well, the painting company was passed down to you in sort of way. Did you ever think, or did it ever cross your mind, like maybe this is something too big for me? This is too big of a capacity?
Yes, I have.
But how did you overcome that?
Right. So instead of thinking like, oh, this is too big for me, I can't do it, it's just like, no, this is too much for me to take on by myself. Who can help me? So instead of like, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? And I'm like drowning.
So instead of quitting, we pivot and we were like, okay, now we're presented with this problem.
So instead of thinking like, how can I do this? How can I do this? It's like, who can do this for me?
Who can help me?
So one big thing that's really helped me is like, I think it's a 2,500 rule or something like that. I'm probably butchering it right now, but basically all these tasks that you're doing, if it's something that's like a $20 an hour task, you want to write down everything you do throughout the day. And if it's something that you can delegate out to somebody else,
give someone that has a role.
$20 an hour task, and then you'll have time to actually work on your business.
Hence me.
Right, exactly. No, but you've created so many more opportunities for me, as far as Now, I'm not at capacity just staring at my phone to make sure I'm answering important people. I
Yeah.
know that you have that under control and you're like the CEO of that role where it's just like she's got it covered. She's going to say exactly what I would want her to say. And
Because of all the background and everything. Yeah.
So that's what's really made a big difference for me. And it's not comfortable at all. You're going to feel like, oh my God, what if Christy says the wrong thing?
And I think of it like, if this were my business, how would I handle it? You know, and I think you have to go into that mindset with every role you have. And that way people would appreciate your role even more because they know that you'll have the integrity or decision-making discernment to know, like, okay, maybe this isn't the best idea, or maybe we shouldn't do this because this could follow on to this, you know? And it's that risk that you took with me to basically, like, I'm giving you the chance to prove that we can take this to the next step.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so much like new doors opened up, and that's just a piece of the puzzle. So like I've done other moves like that over time, or if you were to check in on me a year ago, you'd be like, what the heck,
I remember.
Brittany, what are you doing? Like, I would drive the van to and from the jobs every day, pick up all the equipment, pick up all the supplies, dispatch everybody, pay everybody.
Every role.
Yeah, so I was doing way too much, and just being able to step away. Now I have somebody driving my vans. I have like GPS monitoring my fleet, people picking up my supplies, people picking up
systems in place.
Yeah, going back and
someone
forth to
monitoring leads.
Right.
Mentorship and coaching. Like sometimes it's the tedious little things that we don't want to do. I will always say this in every part of my life, but sometimes we have to do the things that we hate or don't want to do to get to the places that we want to be.
Right.
And it's going to be whether you're studying to get that good grade on the test, whether you have to do coaching that you don't want to do because it's going to benefit you.
Right.
Working out because you want to feel better about yourself. It goes in any aspect of your life. And the sooner you realize that, the easier it will go in your life because you're going to see that you have to put in the work to get to where you want to be.
And it's kind of like when they say, like, you got to eat the frog kind of thing. Like,
I've never heard that one.
Basically, like, you got to do the things you don't want to do is what you're saying. Like, if you have something really hard on your list and you have all these other things to do, like, get the hard stuff out of the way. And there's times where I was stuck in a hamster wheel, but like you're saying, you have to do those things to get to the next point.
And there'll be times where I'll tell you, like, she'll be listing things like, I'm stressed about this and then this, and I'm just like, wait, chill. We'll get to that point. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Right now, all we have to worry about is A, B, and C. So let's write it down. And we kind of balance each other out in that aspect to where sometimes I'm a little crazy or she's a little crazy, hectic, and we're like, wait, chill. Let's make a list. Let's make a list, you know? And that's like little things, even making sure she eats, like stuff like that. You spread yourself so thin that you can't even help anyone. You can't help yourself.
I would say as business owners, like it's easy for us to get caught in that hamster wheel and you have so much responsibility, and that doesn't change. But if you change your mindset and look at the bigger picture from the outside looking in, like all the things you do through the day and why are you doing X, Y, and Z if someone else can do that for you while you have all these other pain points that have maybe more urgency or more of a direct impact on the overall picture, you're never going to get to those things if you don't stop for a minute and just like look at the overall trajectory that you're heading in if you keep at the same direction you're at now.
Yeah.
So I think that's one really big thing that people are going to be able to take away here is just learning from everybody else's experiences so that you don't have to go through those experiences. It's basically like if someone has 10 years experience doing something and I have 10 years, it's like 20 years worth of experience that you're listening to. That's going to save you 10 years worth of heartache of going in the wrong direction, having the wrong
learning
habits.
On your own.
Right. You do not want to be a solopreneur. That is not fun. That is basically like
struggle bus.
Yes, the struggle bus. I literally used to call my van that because I was like, oh my God, I'm driving the van again. Why am I doing this? I'm in the struggle bus.
Yeah. No, and there's days that like we'll come in and we're like, today we're on the struggle bus a little bit, but after this one stop, we're done, you know?
Right.
And you just gotta keep moving forward. What would you say, or who or what is one of your biggest inspirations to like keep that mentality going?
I would honestly say like my business coaches, because they've been really good at like setting an example. And just the experience they have, they're not just like, hey, let me teach you this. I learned this in college. Like
Yeah.
they went through it. They went through the trenches as far as growing a business, scaling a business, how to do the marketing, how to build culture within a team, how to grow
Yeah,
your
that's a big
team,
deal.
right? And they have like businesses that within 2-3 years are very successful, and that's just the trajectory that I'm trying to take mine in. And money loves speed. I'm not trying to sit in the same
Yeah.
position.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves too. If I'm in the same, and I tell this to her all the time, if I'm in the same position a year from now that I am today, slap me. I've told her, I've told her many times, like if we've known each other for over a decade, if I'm in the same position 5 years from now, slap me, get me out of there, because I refuse to be stagnant or idle or not improving. It's just not in the books for me.
And I think when I first started, I was a little bit guilty of that. So being a little bit newer in construction, I used to work for Sherwin-Williams, so I have background in like the paint knowledge, but there's still so much I had to learn, how to get my license and all of this stuff.
That could feel huge to like swallow. It could be too big of a task.
Right. So just being able to take on all of that and like knowing what you have to do to get to where you want to be, I was guilty of just watching in the beginning because I felt that I had so much to learn. And I think if anything, I would have watched a little bit less. Like I reached this point where I'm like, I think I've seen enough. I'm gonna make these changes now because we're not going anywhere. We're going places, but obviously we're not getting that
moving
growth
as fast
that we're looking for.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, obviously you want to be mindful, look at and study and do the research within your industry, but don't sit and like ponder on all these ideas you have. You want to take action. Like it's better to just take the action instead of planning on being perfect.
What do you say? It's better to be done than perfect.
Done is better than perfect. So like that's why we're here doing a podcast, whipping it up. Like we're nervous. This is our first.
And this is fun. I was telling her like we're friends. Right. We're just talking. But we're actually talking and trying to help others. Of like, same with me. My dad was a general contractor. I was raised watching him, go through those growing pains, and a lot of things have changed over the past 20-something years.
Right.
Like they didn't have social media, they didn't have marketing, they didn't have a team structure like we did.
Right.
They just winged it and did it. So if they could, why can't we with all of the other resources that we have?
Exactly.
So that's why we kind of want to continue this podcast and bring other contractors to share their story in the future and have this bigger pool of resources to help you get to where you need to be with your business, with your ideas, and your team.
I think it definitely makes a big impact when you come from a family of contractors. You've already seen like the life cycle of a contractor, and it's almost like, you really have to like die to get out of this, don't you? Like, is that the only way out?
Technically.
Kind of thing, or like, so just to be able to see like the struggles that another generation had went through, and to see like, okay, if this is what I'm gonna do, what type of life do I want for myself, and what type of changes in my business do I need to make,
so that my children don't have to struggle with this.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So I think that's like a really cool opportunity that I have as far as just seeing what I don't want to be.
Yeah.
But in like the most
it paints a perfect
way,
picture of like what not.
Balance, right? Yeah. So I think it would be awesome if there's any contractors out there that are listening. If you guys come from a multi-generational construction family, I would love to interview you and pick your brain on that. Family business structure, how that's worked for you, different pain points you've come across when you're transitioning to the next generation. If you plan on passing down your business to the next generation, what plans are you implementing? What do you want your structure to be? Right. So I think that would be really cool to be able to kind of chat and pick people's brains on. And then aside from that, if you have a business in Arizona, you do construction, or even in other states, we can arrange a Zoom call. I know there's a lot of painting contractors that I've connected with on social
we've
media.
collaborated ideas, even simple as sharing a contact. You'll come to find out so much,
Right.
and it's use your connections.
Right.
Use your connections to get to the places you want to be, to the roles that you want to put yourself in. It's all going to work out. We're definitely going to have a lot more contractors or different trades too. Just give us a little bit more insight of their role and what challenges they come upon in their business. Is there something that we can mention from this podcast that would benefit anybody watching?
Yeah, so right now we're actually doing a little special to just thank everybody for listening to our first podcast, connecting. So basically, if you reach out until the end of June, we are going to offer to upgrade your painting
painting service.
Your painting service, your painting product. There you go. So you can get an upgraded paint product for free for any project up until the end of June. So basically, if you're getting your interior done, we'll offer you an upgraded paint availability. So maybe something more washable.
Yeah.
There's different scented paints that are awesome.
A lot of people don't know that. There's like a good, better, best option. There's scents you can add to the paint. There's, I know that like sanitizing paint.
Yeah, there's paints that are like sanitizing for up to 4 years. Your walls can have different germs and bacteria killed. So that's a really good opportunity for like a kitchen, maybe a kid's bedroom while they're toddlers and whatnot. A lot of germs everywhere touching the walls.
Yeah, daycares.
So those are just like crazy technologies that they've added into paints that people don't know about. And I'd love to be able to give people the opportunity to try it without any cost to them. In general, it's not too much of a price increase to just test out those different products, and over time you'll see such a great result. They have some that are like they purify the air, so if you have like
allergens,
house odors, whether it's like a smoker's house or maybe the kitchen or in the bathroom, you can use an air purifying paint, so it can reduce smells, reduces VOCs in the air. So a lot of different things, and that's something that we want to be able to offer to people, so that way we can educate them on different products and some product knowledge that might be able to better help them in their next painting project.
Yeah.
So if you guys mention our podcast, then we'll get you guys those upgraded products at no cost to you. That way you can kind of explore.
From now until June. Right. So that's, I know it seems like far away, but time is flying, time is fleeting. So, and right now we're sort of booked out until like middle of April. So I know it seems far away, but definitely either go on our website, masterhandspainting.com, or give us a call. We'll be able to apply that special for you.
Yeah, so we do free estimates, free color consultations as well. We're currently hiring painters, drywallers, stucco people. So if there's any of those things that like, hey, it caught my attention, I need my house painted, or I need a job, like,
you don't have to have experience. Like we mentioned, we have on-the-job training in all aspects. Like you're gonna have, whether you want to do sales, whether you want to do estimates, we can work something out.
Right. Yeah. So you guys can check out our website. Like she said, it's masterhandspainting.com. You can give us a call at 602-486-3093, or you can text that number with photos of things that you have questions on. We'd be happy to help you, happy to work with you. We have our email. It's masterhandspainting@gmail.com if you guys want to send over a resume, or if you're interested in being on the Contractor Connection podcast, we'd love to kind of screen you and see if you're fit to do an interview with us.
It won't be much.
Look forward to connecting with you guys and kind
tune
of
into the next,
helping you build your legacy, build your business, build your brand, and build stuff in Arizona.
Yeah, we want to all be successful. There is room for everyone at the top. And yeah, I definitely see it. I think that's why not only like our friendship, but just developing that friendship into like a partner in a role where it's challenging. I like that. I like that our friendship is not challenging because we get to see a different side of each other. So hopefully we can see many more contractors or many more connections come through. And yeah, definitely tune into the next one.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'd love to connect with you, like we said. So if you have any questions, concerns, or just feedback about the podcast, we'd love to hear your guys' feedback.
Woo.
If there's certain topics that you want to hear, our feedback, questions that you might have that you want us to discuss on the next podcast, feel free to give us suggestions. We'd love to make this as interesting as possible and add value to the community for you guys. So yeah, we look forward to connecting with you guys, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for tuning in.
Have a great day. Bye.